Hey guys, it is day 6 of the 12 Days of Christmas. Today I watched Scrooged with Bill Murray. Awesome movie. I'm a big Bill Murray fan. He's hilarious. Creeping out a little bit. Yeah. Yes. I'm gonna go right into this one. Film starts out and it's like there's a scene. It's in the North Pole and Santa is like under gunfire. And like there's a hooded character coming towards him. I love that, and he takes over. It's Lee Majors, the $6 million. I love what Santa's like. Lee Majors, the $6 million man. It's like that's how people on TV should introduce each other. I love that. And then it turns out it's a movie trailer for a film called The Night the Reindeer Died. I was like, that looks like my kind of Christmas movie, to be fair. And then there's also other ones like Father Loves Beaver. Moving on. And it turns out that it's trailers for Bill Murray, who plays Frank Cross. Frank Cross's television company. And they're all the trailers for Christmas shows, and he's like really frustrated. He's like, I love the way he calms himself down, opens a drawer in his desk, looks down, there's a mirror in there, just looks at his face. Okay. And so show me the Scrooge promo. And they showed like a standard trailer for the Scrooge live show that's coming up. And he's like, boy, does that suck. Here's my version. And there's like acid rain and shit. Like in a world where with acid rain, like pollution, famine, everything sucks. Watch Scrooge because your life might just depend on it. That was badass. His version looks better. And then like the one of his workers, Elliot, Elliot's a bit of a he's very shy, he's a little bit of a dweeb and he can't really stand up for himself. And he's like, excuse me, sir, I don't think you can show that trailer, it's too violent. And he's like, okay, I'll take that into consideration. Fire him. And then it's like fires him on Christmas Eve. And then his wife leaves him or something. His whole life turns to shit basically. And he's like, but it's Christmas. I know, you're right. Take away his Christmas bonus. He's a proper Scrooge, yeah. And then she's going through the list of Christmas gifts for him to give to people, and all of his friends and family, towel, including his brother. And all of the work guys get VCR recorders. I mean, to be fair, I can't afford to buy my brother a VCR or a Blu-ray player, whatever it is that people use now. A computer thing. A box with lights on it. One of those. I can't afford to buy my brother one of those. I'll buy my brother a fucking towel. And then over he goes with his assistant, Grace, put yourself down for a towel. And she, what about my bonus? Okay, you can have a hand towel as well. Dude. And then his boss comes in. He's like, we're going to do programming for cats. We're going to have mice in TV shows to attract the cats. And he's like, whatever, you're the boss. Whatever, And then he meets John Glover. Is it John Glover? I'm going to say that's his name, because if I say that's his name, I'm going to look like an idiot. Yeah, John Glover, who I know him as Lex Luthor's dad from Smallville, but he was in Gremlins 2 as well, actually, another Christmas movie. And he's so cheerful and annoying. He's basically the anti Frank Cross. Then he goes to meet his brother, and then he'll obviously disses the band playing. I was like, dude, don't diss the band, And he was like, oh man, did you learn that song yesterday? You suck. I'm not giving you my money. I was like, whoa, don't diss the band, man. If I see a busker on the street, I usually always try and give a busker some money, because I feel like I feel like that makes me a dick for not giving to homeless people, but I feel like they're earning their money, and as a musician I sympathise with that, so I always try and give a busker some money if I'm passing the street. And he was like, do you hate Christmas? How dare you? I love Christmas. It's cold. Everyone stays at home. They watch TV tonight. Everyone's going to be snuggled around their TV watching the boob tube, watching my show, and I get paid for it, basically. So. And he's like, that's all you care about, innit? And then, just a final cherry on top for dickishness, steals an old lady's cab. He gets cab to get the Humanitarian of the Year award. Least deserving guy in history, right? And the love way he just leaves it in the cab like it's nothing. I mean, can I have it? I'll cherish that. Oh yeah, and his assistant Grace, she's got her son. I think he's in the office, and her son can't speak. He's he's like mute. And I think it turns out later it's he's got latent psychological issues, but I'll get to that later. And then he gets a knock on the door. And he's running away. I was like, dude, don't knock on the door and run away. The man's trying to make the whole film. He's trying to make a cocktail. He's just putting tab cola in some vodka or something. And someone always interrupts him. I was like, this dude needs a frigging cocktail. That's the only reason he snaps. He snaps. My goodness. Updates. No need updates. Where was I? And yeah, his boss appears in his office, and he's like his ex-boss who's died, and he's like full zombie, which is kind of gross for a PG. I just want to point out. And he's like starts shooting at him, and he's like smashes the ball. He's like, "Hey, I don't mind you hitting me, Frank, but don't hurt the Bacardi." I hear that. Yeah, Lou Hayworth, his boss, feared by men, adored by women. Oh, reasonable, Lou. The girls were paid for. That's a good line. And he's like, you'll be visited by 3 ghosts. And he's like, you're the first one will be tomorrow at noon. You see, I can't do noon. Maybe I can fit him in. This isn't a joke, man. Grabs him by the throat, holds him out the window, and he starts frantically clawing at his arm. And then the arm breaks off, the zombie arm, and he falls, and then he wakes up. Where does he wake up? Oh yeah, he wakes up in his house, and then the phone dials itself, and it dials his ex-girlfriend Claire, who he's not spoken to. And over he's like, Claire, I haven't spoken to you in 15 years. I love where he needs to look at his watch for that. Yeah, and I think Claire is she's the person who keeps him sane, because she's his ex, and he never stopped loving her. Then it goes to it goes to Grace's house again. The brothers and sisters are using little Calvin as a tree, and it's like, when can we get a real tree? When they free? I didn't get my Christmas bonus this year, because he's a douchebag. And I think Claire is the actress from Indiana Jones. It was played by Marion Ravenwood. Oh wait, no, that's the character from Indiana Jones. Karen Allen, yeah, from Indiana Jones. I'm getting that one in the wrong order. Yeah, that was before that. Yeah, so she's in it. I like her from that. And then he goes back to his office. And it's like, so the Scrooge trailer scared an old lady to death. Good! That is the publicity we need. And there's another thing we've got to address is that the dancers in the show. What about the dancers in the show? The shirt is so low cut you can see her nipples. I want to see her nipples. They're quite nice, yeah, very nice, yeah. It's a family show, so I don't know if you're allowed to do that, but yeah, they're very nice. So I think Lou Zombie did kind of throw him a bone by calling her, because I feel like, maybe she was important to his healing process. Maybe he couldn't have been saved. I think she was like the tool the film uses. He wants to be good for her because he still loves her. So I think that's what she's all about. you know, and yeah. Anyway, he goes to the restaurant where his current boss works. I love what the waiter is Socrates from Bill and Ted. He's so serious in this as well. He was so funny in Bill and Ted, you know. And he was like, "Look, mate, I think you're stressed out." Because he's clearly losing it, you know. He's like, "You're stressed out. I'm going to have you team up with John Glover, you know, happy, cheerful John Glover, who's the anti-Scrooge, you know, Frank Ross. You know what I mean? You know, he's so cheerful and annoying, you know." And I was like, "I don't trust him, you know. I know he's here to either kill Superman or use him for your own like goal, your own, you know, shit, you know." You know, I know you're here for some bad shit, you know, you always are. Your own... I don't know what the word is. It's late. Or he orders an eyeball cocktail and he actually has an eyeball and he's like, "Oh god!" And everyone looks in, it's just ice and like, "Are you okay, man?" "Yeah." "Take it away, please." I love when he's freaking out like there's a meal that's on fire or something. He thinks the waiter's on fire and actually he's just seeing in his head. And he puts this guy out. "Sorry, I thought you were Richard Pryor." "Yeah, the white waiter is." You know. And he gets in the cab and the cab's like racing down. He's like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, what are you doing, man?" And turns out the driver is the Ghost of Christmas Past. I love where it has a legitimate ID in the cab that says Ghost of Christmas Past. I love that. Yeah, so he goes back to 1955. 1955! This isn't Back to the Future. This isn't Back to the Future. I love when they open the car door and it's like from a hot box and the smoke cones. I love that. That's a nice little joke there. I like that. And he goes back to his and he's like, "I'm not going to cry just because I'm at my mum's house, you know." He's like, "I tell you, the Hun said that." No, yeah, we're fools. First of all, I love the fact the ghost knows Attila the Hun, and he does this for like every evil person ever. That's like hilarious, you know. Anyway, he sees he's like when he was a kid, he was there with his mum watching TV, and his dad comes home thinking he's bought him a train for Christmas, and his dad's bought him a pound, like, you know, like £5 of veal, you know, and you know. And like the bit that got me, man, was like, you know, he goes to bed and the dad's a dig and the mum's just like, you know, "Good night, my angel, you know, don't like watch too much TV," and like, "Oh, good night, I love you, mummy, Merry Christmas." And then he's like, "I told you, Niagara Falls." Fuck him crying. I'm fucking crying by that, you know. You know. Yeah. And he is like, "I was only crying because in today's market that would be like $50 worth of veal." Yeah, right. You know, the guy is that, like, you know, stern, isn't he? And then it goes fast forward to 1968. And he's at an office party, but he's busy working during the party, you know. And then there's the girl, you know, taking photocopies of her ass, you know, and giving them out, you know. And she goes up there, starts, you know, giving him the old charm and shit. And he's, "Oh, sorry, I got work to do." And then he's like looking at his pass out. He's like, "Go back in there, you moron! She was into you. Have you seen her?" And the ghost's like, "I'm not that dead." You know, I love that. And then he goes to the grocery store, and he bumps into Claire for the first time, you know, and like they bump heads, you know. That's why she calls him Lumpy as a nickname. And then they have like their little moment, you know, and then it's like, you know, fast forwards to 1969, and they're now a couple. I love that she's in the bath, and then he's like, "Hey, ghost, don't be a creep, man." He's like, "Oh, dude, you had it all, man." He did have it all. Yeah, I was like, he bought her friggin' knives for Christmas. I mean, I know they're like good knives, you can cut a tin can with them, but you know, you could have bought her that and a teddy bear, you know what I mean? It's like, have a heart, man, have a heart, man. She bought him the Kama Sutra. I don't know if I can do those things, but you know. Now that's a present. Fast forward 1971, and he's basically on a kids' TV show in a dog suit playing the character. And he like seems to really want to keep this job, even though it's the worst job, you know. And his boss says, "Can you want to come to dinner tomorrow?" And like, "Oh yeah, I'll come to dinner." Yeah, cool, because you know he's brown nosing the boss. And then he's like, "Oh well, we're going to dinner with the boss." "No, we can't. We're going to dinner with our friends tomorrow." Like, "Oh, you know, we can't do it." And then it could have just been like, crap, I'm gonna have to tell one of them we can't do it. But he decided to go the extra mile and be a dick. And he was like, Christmas is the one time of the year you shouldn't be so selfish. And I was just like, wow. And then her character is, she's so nice. She's like, I'm sorry. And I was like, don't say sorry, he's an asshole. You know, she bought you the friggin' Kama Sutra for Christmas. Never be mad at this woman, ever. Yeah. And then it kind of goes back to modern day, and he kind of wakes up on the set of the Scrooge show. And then, like, the character's talking to Scrooge in the show, and he's like, Scrooge, are you happy with the path you've chosen? And then he looks at her and he's like, what's that supposed to mean? Yeah, I'm happy with my path I've chosen, you dumb bitch. You know, and she runs away crying or something. And then so he goes for a walk, and he winds up at her shelter where Claire works. And like they said, they want to go out for Chinese food, you know, and he misses her and all that. But then she says, oh, she's caught up with work, and rather than just saying, oh, you know, wait, or I'll go and do something, we'll meet you later, he like has a go at her, you know, and he's like, you know what, don't bother, you know. And again, he you know, he can turn into a right dickhead, and she you know, she's too nice to say anything. And then she's just like, Merry Christmas, bah humbug. I love it. He actually said bah humbug in this, you know. They have to do it at some point, yeah. And then he's like, he finds the Ghost of Christmas Present, and she's like a cute, you know, girl, you know, she's in like a fairy dress with wings and stuff. She's fucking fine. She kicks him in the balls, man. You know, she punched him in the face and shit. You know, she's kind of scary, man. He's like, if you do it again, I'll rip your wings off. Ooh, I like the rough stuff. Do you now? No. She kicks you in the balls. I don't want none of that. Anyway. And she goes to Claire's house again, and she tells him the reason the little kid Calvin doesn't talk is because he's not spoken since he saw his father get killed. You know, I was like, fuck, man, that's dark for this movie, man. You know, that is dark, man. I don't blame the kid, you know. Then he goes to his brother's house. You know, and they're playing a game. Now, what was the boat that took the people to Gilligan's Islands? Mackerel. You're so dumb. Everybody knows that, man. You know. And then his brother gets the VCR for Christmas, and he's like, I haven't even given the VCR. That was Claire's idea. I was just going to give him a towel, man. And then they're all saying, oh, he can't even come to this party, man. He's like, no, I've got the best brother in the world. I'm just like, dude, you're a dick, and your brother still loves you that much, man. You're like, that's beautiful, man. You know, you've got to be nicer to your brother, man. I love when he's like pissed. You know, you're like, that doesn't look like a towel. And it's like, dude, don't be pissed about it, man. Because then you are a dick. Then he ends up in a sewer. Like she hits him in the face with a toaster, and he runs out. The bitch hit me with a toaster. Where am I, Trump Tower? And he's looking up at the grate. You know, people are walking along the sidewalk. You know, he's like, hello, where am I? Oh, thanks for the shot. A nice little joke there, I like that. And where he sees Herman, a guy who was at the shelter, and he's frozen to death in the sewers, and he's like, Herman, you idiot, why didn't you stay with Claire? She would have fed you, she would have kept you warm, man. You know. And then he goes back to the film set, and then he sees Death in the elevator, and he's like, you know what, I'm not scared of you, I've seen everything today, go on Death, give me your best shot, you pussy. And then there's like, he's the actor for the show, you know, he's good, he's gonna go far. I love that. You know, and then there's like another shot, like the kid was like, Calvin was watching A Christmas Carol, and he was like obsessed with Tiny Tim, and then he's there on set and he's watching the I can't remember what her name is, the actress who's an acrobat. He's watching her playing Tiny Tim, and he's like proper captivated by it. You know, so that's that. He likes Tiny Tim. And then he opens his brother's gift, and it's a frame saying to the best brother in the world. I was like, wow. way to make you feel like an asshole, man. His brother is so forgiving, man, despite how much of a dick you are. You know. And he goes back to the office, and then there's Elliot, who he fired earlier with a shotgun. He's like, you ruined my life, man. You fired me. And he's finally learned to stick up for himself. Man, he's blind drunk, Best thing about that is he can't actually aim that shotgun. The creepiest thing about the whole thing is Elliot singing "Santa Claus is Coming to Town" with the shotgun. That is so like eerie and brilliant. It's like, well, child, you better not cry, you better not. I'm telling you, so brilliant, that scene. And they get to the lift, and there's Death again. He's like, "Oh, you again?" He's like, "I'm not scared of you." And then the guy starts advancing on him, and he's like, "Whoa, that might work with the chicks, man, but not me." And then it's actually Death. And I don't know why he decides to open up the shirt. Look at there's like demons and souls and shit. And he's like, "Did we do this to you?" I don't know. His face is a TV screen. He looks into the TV screen, and then he sees the future. And first thing he sees is Calvin is in a padded cell because he never learned to talk, and his mom can't only gets a few seconds to see him. He never gets to live his life because he's in a cell, and he's like, can we help? I'll pay for it. I'll help him out. Whatever. Then it goes to Claire, and Claire's with her friends. And then these kids come looking poor, and she's like, "I'll get those away." It's like, "Oh, I don't care." She Claire's turned a bitch. She's like, "One time a friend of mine once told me, if you want to save someone, save yourself, scrape off all of the trash." And it's like, he's like, "Wow, man, the nicest person in the world is become a bitch because of something I said." And I think that's the thing that hits him most. And then it goes to his funeral. The funeral, he thinks it's his brother's. He sees his brother's wife there, and he's like, "Oh, my brother's dead," And they see his brother walking up, and he's like, "Hang on a minute, if my brother's there, who's in the casket?" And he's in the casket, and then he kind of gets put inside of the casket, and then he's there fighting out of the casket, and he's like, "I'm alive, open it," And he's like terrified. He's like, "Why did no one come to my funeral other than his brother?" And then he wakes up, suddenly renewed with the Christmas spirit, and he's like, "I want to live," and he wakes up, and then there's friggin' Elliot with a shotgun in his face, and he's like, "Elliot, I'm sorry, I'm going to give you a job back, I'm going to pay you double, you can have my office, you can have all of it, and then he invades the set of the Scrooge, and he's like it shows a bit where Scrooge is like, "Boy, fetch me the biggest goose in all of London." Throws the coin, and he catches the coin, and then he is like, "Look, man, what the hell are you doing at home watching TV, man? Go out, go to your family's house, just spend time with the people you love, man." And then Elliot is goes up to the control room, and he's like, "No one turn this off, man." And he is way too comfortable with that shotgun now. He's like, "If anyone turns this off, I will shoot you, man." He isn't afraid of nothing anymore. I think again he taught Elliot confidence, man. Maybe that's a good thing. I think he put the shotgun down, but he did teach him confidence, And they're like, "He's gone mad." And then Don Glover's there. "He's mad." "He's fired. I'm gonna get his job." And then Elliot ties him up. He's like, "Hey, where's John Glover?" "Oh, he's tied up right now. He can't talk to you." Oh, that one's so on the nose, but I don't care. And he's like, "Oh, I figured it out, man. I want to apologise to my brother. I was supposed to send you a towel, but the secretary sent you the VCR, but you were right all along. I'm a dickhead, man. You're nice. You deserve so much better, man. And I've said some horrible things to the girl that I'm in love with, and he brings her on. And I love when she gets there. The Ghost of Christmas Past is driving the cab, and I was like, "That's so weird." It's like, can she see the Ghost of Christmas Past? I don't know if that was just I don't know, but that was nice. I liked that. And then there's the big cheesy musical number. I love a big cheesy musical number. They're all singing "Put a Little Bit of Love in Your Heart." I haven't seen the trivia yet, but I know he's like, "Feed me, Seymour," which is a line from Little Shop of Horrors, isn't it? Which was a little bit, and I love the last bit though, and he's everyone sing along, and he like points to the camera. And I would have loved to be in the movie theater in the 80s watching this, and he's like, all the men sing along, the real men, not the women, the real women. No, and then now you, that guy who's been talking the whole movie, I hear you. You know, that would have been so funny if I was in the movie theatre when I saw that for the first time. Though I think I did talk through. I watched this film in school actually when I did a report on it. And then like the guy had been talking, and everyone looked at me, and I was like, I only talk 'cause I'm analysing it, you know. Yeah, I love this film. It's so funny. I'm doing a short video today, so I'll run down the trivia. I'll only read the good shit, you know, because a lot of it's like, you know, twice some of it. Apparently, Bill Murray and director Richard Donner didn't enjoy working together. There was a lot of tension, which is a shame. Ghost of Christmas Present, Carol Kane grabbed Bill Murray's lip as she tore it so badly. Filming was halted for several days. Fucking hell. She's a menace. I love her, but she's a menace. Jack McGee ad-libbed the line where he's like, you can hardly see them nipples. You know, so, well, and he's really looking. Bill Murray falling on his way out of the restaurant is said to have been unscripted and a genuine accident. Apparently it was due to the stairs being wet after he splashed water over the waiter, and he caused him to lose his footing. That's interesting. This was Bill Murray's first starring role since Ghostbusters. He had been living in Paris and had seriously considered giving up acting altogether. I know he didn't like doing Ghostbusters. But I think he's grown to like Ghostbusters now, but at the time he hated it. Carol Kane would get upset at having to rough up Bill Murray in her scene together. She's sweet, but she did rough him up, you know. Oh yeah, when he throws water on the road and says, sorry, I thought you were Richard Pryor, is a reference to an event in Richard Pryor's life when freebasing cocaine accidentally set himself on fire and ran down a busy street in LA. Oh, because he thought the waiter was on fire. The leader of the street musicians is played by the street musicians is inspired by Bill Murray is Paul Schaefer. The others are Miles Davis, Dan Sanborn, and Larry Colton. When the Ghost of Christmas Present appears in the movie, she says, I'm a little muddled, which is a direct quote from Gilda the Good in The Wizard of Oz. She does look a little bit like the Good Witch. Special appearance in this movie, legendary actor John Houseman sadly died in October 1988, less than a month before the release of this film. Sam Kinison was originally slated to play the part of Ghost of Christmas Past, but eventually went to David Jonathan due to his friendship with Bill Murray. On the Frisbee show, where he plays the dog, there's an engraving on a tree that says "Dick loves Lauren," referring to the director Richard Donner and his wife Lauren Donner. That's nice. I like that. Preston tells Frank that in Leverett 29 million cats, 48 million dogs, and then says quite seriously that IBC needs to start gearing up programming towards them. As of 2015, there are several dog and cat specific channels on Roku that supply dedicated pet programming based on scientific studies and shit. They called The Future. That was weird. Bill Murray ad-libbed most of his lines in the 1988 interview with Philadelphia Today News. Richard Donner discussed Bill Murray's penchant for improv and described experience of directing Murray as follows: "It's like standing on 42nd Street in Broadway and the lights are out and you're the traffic cop." Yeah, I know he's got. I think the scene in Caddyshack where he starts hitting all the flags with golf club was ad lib, so I know he's like good at that. And he's done a lot of Saturday Night Live and stuff as well. So he's doing stuff on the spot. At the end of me, when everyone's saying "put a love little on your heart," Frank says, "Feed me, Seymour." This is a reference to Little Shop Horrors, yeah, where he did have a small part. The Scroogettes, playing the Scroogettes were the Solid Gold Dancers, whose American television show had been cancelled by the same time this movie debuted. Well, at least they're getting money from this. Yeah, the homeless shelter, one mistakes him for Frank for Richard Burton, is an allusion to Bill Murray's skit in Saturday Night Live, Season 2, Episode 22, where he imitated Richard Burton's most famous dramatic scenes. Oh, when he says to the zombie, "That mankind should have been my business," which is a line spoken by Jacob Marley in Christmas Carol. Apparently, Bill Murray to Monday rewrote the script before he signed on to it. Oh, the cab owned by the Ghost of Christmas Past is owned by the Bell Cab Company, which is the name of Scrooge's wife, Scrooge's first love from the novel, Christmas Carol, which is quite nice. Restaurant scene, a close watch of Frank's wristwatch shows that it's November 23rd, even though it's set on Christmas Eve. Though the date is significant, however, for being the film's theatrical release date in the US. 4 copies of Picasso's painting "A Woman with an Artichoke" were made for this scene. That was never shot. 3 were given to crew members. Mel Gibson somehow got the 4th. Many references to Free Africa throughout the movie, including a poster on Grace's wall, house wallstick in the production room. This is subliminal political humanitarian reference to the apartheid controversy, which was taking place in South Africa at the time of this film being shot. Oh, this is a good one. Wrestling fans out there. The sling-mounted M134 minigun used by Lee Majors at the beginning of the movie is the same stage prop used by Jesse the Body Ventura in Predator. Yeah, that's right. The body, his gun, was in this movie. Right there. Following the breakup of the New York Dolls, bassist Arthur Kane had fallen on hard times, envious of the success of his fellow bandmates. Kane was in his apartment watching the film, and he saw David Johnson's appearance on screen as the Ghost of Christmas Past. He pushed him over the edge and resulted in him attempting suicide by jumping off the balcony. God. Some characters have trouble remembering the name of the boat in Gilligan's Island, which Richard E. Donner worked on. A Christmas Carol is only referred to as Scrooge, not A Christmas Carol. Was the second ghost comedy that Bill Murray played, because obviously Ghostbusters. The tagline was Bill Murray is back among the ghosts, only this time it's 3 against 1. That's a nice slogan, I like that. 13th highest grossing film of 1988. Totaled $60 million. Actor trademark Bill Murray, bark like a dog. Bill Murray says to another character, will bark like a dog. What he said in Caddyshack, Ghostbusters, and Groundhog Day. Richard Donner, the director, had a cameo, a worker in the control room at the end of the movie. Movie critic Roger Ebert said this was the worst film adaptation of Christmas Carol he'd ever seen. Well, you're a muggle. Clearly you've not read my comic book yet. Yeah, because I did one. Sort of. It wasn't Christmas, but I did one with ghosts, and they make JB a better person. Biggest challenge for Murray was carrying the film on his own, because obviously Ghostbusters, he was part of an ensemble. Richard Donner had reservation about turning A Christmas Carol into a comedy. It's a thin line, but you have the two most irreverent writers in the world, with the most irreverent humorist since W.C. Fields, and you say let's go, there's a thin line you walk, and it's broken hope. But yeah, basically, I'm glad that it was a comedy because it's hilarious, this film. Wasn't until 2011 that Danny Elfman's score was released. The album, which was limited to just 3,000 copies, counted a total of 34 tracks, not all of which included in the film. Final track was a bonus track that was created for Trading Places. Michael Chapman replaced Conrad L. Hall as director of photography. Hall was filmed original cinematographer, but was allegedly fired after just 5 days of filming. Names for television shows came up on the IBC network, where clips shown were Scrooge, Father Loves Beaver, The Night the Reindeer Died, and Bob Goulet's Old Fashioned Cajun Christmas. The network promoted the slogan for the television series You'll Love It. That's not even a trivia. A lot of these are the same ones over and over again. Yeah, 1955, same year. Marty McFly goes back in Back to the Future. The word Scrooge means to have Ebenezer Scrooge experiences happening to you, but also appears in Wind in the Willows, where it's used as a burrowing motion. Sorry. Interesting. These trivias are all like the same ones. There were 6 Christmas ghosts in the movie. They were following. There was Ghost of Christmas Past, Present, Future, Herman, and then it also says that there's another Past and Future as well. Okay. Lethal Weapon, Richard Donner's other film, was also really, set at Christmas time. The writers worked on Saturday Night Live as well, which is Bill Murray was in that. During the Ghost of Christmas Present section, the ghost, Carol Kane, takes Frank to visit a house where his brother is playing the trivia game. Question with Adam's family, what instrument did Lurch play? Kane went on to play Grandmother Adams in Family Values. Interesting. Several gags involving cats and dogs. Obviously, Bill Murray played Garfield. Brian Doyle Murray as Earl Cross, Frank, Bill Murray's brother. Is that Bill Murray's real? Bill Murray's father played Frank's father, is it? Mary Lou Retton played herself as Tiny Tim. Lee Majors played himself. John Horseman as himself. Right. I think this was like one of his last movies, or his last movie, I think. Apparently the Free Africa poster is also seen in Lethal Weapon 2. Yeah, so that's all of the... So most of those trivias were the same ones, just repeated over again in different words. But yeah, I learned some cool things today. Yeah, good movie, funny movie. Teaches one to love Christmas, man. You know, be grateful for shit, you know. I like that. That's nice, that is. Yeah, thought I'd try and do a shorter video today. Thought I'd go through this one quickly, you know. So that was day 6. Day 7, tomorrow, I will be watching Jingle All the Way, starring Arnold Schwarzenegger. I'm very much looking forward to that one again. That's been all from me. I'll see you tomorrow. Merry Christmas, J-Man out.